Here we are on Radio Row for CleansOnline.com, presented all week long. Munganast St. Louis Acura, Munganast Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, Fast Eddie's Bon Air, Western Illinois University, and Trice Consulting. Kicking off day 2 coverage with Westwood One's Laura Okmin. Laura, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm so thrilled to be here.
And we talked about, you and I are both very tired right now, but for very different reasons. This is interview for you today?
It's been quite a few, but I'm thrilled to be on this one.
No, I went out this morning. I Ubered over to the stadium to see that, and that took about 5 minutes of walking in, and they were like, "Okay, you saw the stadium, you can leave now."
Can go, totally.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, all right, $40 Uber ride over here, great." And then I went over to Scottsdale. I picked up all of my stuff to do the golf later this week too. And it's a Tuesday, and that's a madhouse already.
I woke up this morning and was like, Thursday? Like, what day is this today? But here's the thing. I love the 2 weeks off for the players. They need it. Lord, they need it. Especially the 2 wide receivers and Patrick. But 2 weeks is a long time to talk about 2 teams.
Yeah.
So I think we're all on teams right now on Tuesday.
Did you do anything with the Pro Bowl last week?
Please let me have 1 week.
I'm just asking.
No.
They don't send you to Vegas. Is that the worst thing?
That extra week that they've added to the season is real for players. That extra week. I don't know if people understand that wear and tear that it does to your body. But this sounds awful. But I do 18 straight weeks with the NFL on Fox.
You don't get a bye week.
We don't get a bye week, and so it was lovely to just focus on these 2 teams and not go slide in a Vegas. Let me just say that. That's not where you go to.
What does your week look like as a broadcaster? How does that take me through Monday through Sunday?
So I would start Sunday with whatever game we're finishing. The second that we get to our cars to go to the airport, we're looking at the 2 teams we have next to leave. Of how did they do, and start already really quickly going, let me rep who won, who lost, what the stats are, and kind of looking at already who do we want to talk to for next week. And all week we're reading every single clip that we get on every local coverage of those 2 teams, and making sure that that we're reading everything, we're watching the games that they just played and past games, and also the privilege of being a partner of the NFL is that we get production meetings. And so we're doing calls, we're doing Zooms if we're not in person, and we're doing meetings on Friday with the head coach, with the coordinators and players, and we just have these incredible conversations with them. And so it's really all week, watching games, reading everything, and having conversations. So by the time kickoff happens on Sunday, you're so happy it's just a football game. Because we have 3-hour meeting Saturday night, going over every graphic and every storyline and every lineup, and then a game breaks out, and you're like, well, this isn't what we expected at all. Hold on a second. And it's a week of a lot of preparation, and you just live for when the game finally happens and you get to react to it.
I remember reading about the late Stuart Scott, that when he would do sports centers, and he would have his assistants and stuff come up with stats for him. Like, he worked so hard to get every single one of those in. And you just mentioned how once the game starts, you don't know what's going to happen. So all of that work and everything that you just did, like, how many times do you finish those games and you look at it and I needed to get to this, or you regret not getting to certain things?
100% of the time. And what I would say is I leave 98% in my notebook or in my head. And I cannot tell you how much he made my day. Stuart was my best friend for over 20 years. So Stuart is my heart. So I can't thank you enough for this conversation, bringing his name up. And Stuart and I would talk about it all the time. And so what we would talk about, because Stuart didn't call games, I'd call him after a game and he'd go, let me hear what you didn't get in, because he loved storytelling.
Really?
And that's what was both of our hearts. And so I'd be like, all right, let me tell you the story of Nick Bolton. That was so good. It would have been so awesome. And so I'd get to share them with him, and now I share them with my husband. And it's just kind of, what do I get to share on the broadcast, and then what stories meant a lot to me that just didn't fit in. That you think someone's going to have a big game because they did last week, or everything looks like it's going to be the offensive line is going to have no problem with this defensive line, and all of a sudden they get mauled up front, and that story doesn't fit anymore. But honest to God, I'd probably, out of 20 stories I pitch every week, you're lucky if you get 2 or 3 in. And so I love my job, but it's heartbreaking because as a reporter, as a sideline reporter, you prepare just as much and just as hard as your partners in the booth, but they get to talk for 3 hours. And we look at our job and go, well, I get to really talk probably about 2.5 minutes. And we kind of line it all up. And I think that defined me for a really long time, not feeling your value, not feeling your worth. And I would count hits as a young reporter. And then you get older and you get more experience and wiser, and you realize my role is a lot bigger than me. And so instead of counting hits, you go, did I help the guys in the booth today? Did I help my producer and director today? Did I have a meaningful conversation that doesn't need to make air? That it was just a really neat conversation to have. And that's my checklist now. But listen, Stuart and I met when he was at ESPN2 and I was covering the Bulls and he started covering the Bulls. And these are the conversations we would have all the time as we were figuring out our business.
That's awesome. You mentioned the crew you're working with. It's an all-star lineup. I mean, it's the Super Bowl, so of course. But the crew that you're working with this week is a good group. I saw Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner, Kevin Harlan, and Mike Bober.
Yeah.
And so it's somebody asked me about when Kevin introduces you and says your name and what's the first thing you hope to talk about, and I was like, you just buried the lead. The lead is when Kevin Harlan says your name and throws down to you, it is a Super Bowl for me. I've known Kevin a really long time and respected him, and he's worked for so long and love him and his family. But it's really cool when Kevin Harlan introduces you, and to be a part of this crew, really great broadcasters, even better men, is really special.
Well, good luck with the broadcast on Sunday. I hope you get all your stuff in.
I will call you if I don't and let you know what I wish I would have.
That's Laura Okmin here with us on Radio Row from Phoenix.
At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there is limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a leatherneck and get an education that stands out.